Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 158. There will be times in your life when you won't know what to do when you're trying to move into that next stage of your relationships, of your health, your career, even your spirituality, and what life is all about. You will feel stuck or confused, or you might even think that you've tried everything and you're going to want to give up. But just when you want to give up, I want you to listen to this episode. I don't want you spinning in that place of thinking that, you know what, I've just got to wait until the time is right and the thing just happens. So listen up. This is going to be the thing that gives you the boost you need to save you years, to re-energize yourself and gather yourself together so you can get ready for what is next. And we're going to talk about how to train your mind for what is next. So what I have found over and over again is that people don't do well when they are trying to change a lot of different things at once. And when we think about that next place in our life where our health, our wealth, or our relationships are different, maybe better, quote unquote, or more in line with what we think we want to see, we often want to do a lot of things at one time to make it happen. Like, hurry up, let's do this. Yet the first skill to master is the one you don't see. And that is how to train your mind and change your mind for what is next. And how you decide to think about what it is that you want next is going to determine your experience with all the things that might be coming up for you. So the other day, as an example, my husband was asking me a question and I was deep in thought. He kind of came in, asked a question. I was deep in thought working, and I tried to answer the question quickly and ended up swallowing air. And I was coughing and trying to speak. I realized that this has happened more than once, and that my mind wasn't ready, even if my body was trying to go. And so this doesn't happen when I'm on a call or I am, engaged in a conversation. It's when I'm doing something else and my body hasn't gotten prepared because my mind hasn't gotten prepared, but my body tries to go and my mind isn't there. So we often try to just hurry up our way to the next thing that we want. And we forget that even if we take the actions like move our bodies, reach out to people, we actually need to prepare ourselves mentally. And this is something that I've actually started doing even in my workouts. I actually have to seed in my brain, what is the workout I'm doing? Where am I going? I'm mentally prepared. Even if I don't have all the specifics, I need to know kind of like, what is the next thing I'm moving into throughout the day? And when we know that, right, there's a sense of readiness, but we don't do that with these big changes in our lives. We need to actually think through what it is we want, what is coming up for us, why we're trying to shift things. What's so important about it? Why is this something that we're trying to even focus our time and attention on now? Because if we just do the things without the energy of belief being behind it, then we're not fully sold. And when we're not fully sold, we're not going to get all of the results. We'll get some results, but just like me sputtering up some kind of an answer and like choking on my air and what I'm saying, it won't be as effective as actually taking the time to think through what it is we're doing and why. And if we show up in that full belief, even if it's not like 10 out of 10, but 8 out of 10 versus a 2 out of 10, we will feel more ready to handle the situation. And when we talk about training the mind, it will feel like conscious effort. Your mind currently has a way of thinking. And that way of thinking is exactly why you have what you have today. And that's why change feels hard, because all the things you do have gotten you to this. So every single day, you're practicing the same things over and over and over again. And all of these automatic habits, these behaviors, include the way we think, the way we respond, the way we show up, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we eat. There's so many little patterns running behind the scenes, and they've been built up over the years. And while they can change, they usually won't without something that breaks the pattern. And so if you actually think about the last time you tried to break a speaking tic, like removing filler words or changing certain gestures or body movements or facial expressions, or even replacing language that you normally use, it's not always easy. And it takes doing it over and over and over again, and maybe having someone remind you, hey, did you notice you did that again? Oh, totally didn't. To start to do it the new way. But most people won't go around trying to do those things. You have to actually ask for that kind of feedback or look for it. Most people will just let you go on doing all the things you normally do. So you sometimes have to be the one that interrogates reality and say, like, wait, is this actually working for me? Because by the time it gets to someone else telling you, hey, this isn't working, it's usually not a great sign. And so you actually want to be thinking for yourself. And this is why you're listening to this podcast, because usually you're already in this mode. You're going to be in this place of saying to yourself, I do have patterns. I might not even be aware of what they are. But if I train my mind, I'm going to have the desire to break the patterns. I'm going to want to break patterns, especially the patterns that don't work. For example, patterns you might have of emotionally eating, or the pattern you have of thinking that what you need or what you have to say isn't very important, or the pattern you have of wanting other people to think you're smart, good looking, or nice. And all of these things can work for you, but often they stop working when you feel this need for change. So if you think about changing your work, let's say you decide to stop working or you want to change your job. So you have to decide, what do I actually want more than what I currently have today? When you want something more than what you currently have today, you're going to say to yourself, okay, I identify my self-worth with what I'm doing. I'm going to have to want something more than my identity to this work. If you were someone who didn't work and maybe stayed at home and was with the kids, you have to say to yourself, if you're starting to work again, I'm now valuing my role as a contributing member of this organization as much as I am valuing my role as a contributing member of this family, right? So we have to start to actually reroute, change things in our minds so that we end up going down those paths, because our thoughts precede the way we feel and what we actually do. So we can actually start to think, okay, enough is enough. I want this change. It's time to give this up. It's time to break the habit of wanting importance from the things I do, because then that's determined by what everyone else thinks is important and not me. It's time for me to figure out what matters more to me than what I'm currently valuing now. it's time for me to actually want to want something different for myself more than what I want today. So you're going to figure out that it's time to give it up, and it will be hard, but it's actually simple. So you can actually break the ties that bind you to the things that don't work for what's coming up next in your life. You might have like a love of taking a lot of time to make a decision or thinking things through very, very thoroughly. But what's coming up for you is that in your next role or in the current thing that you're working on, that isn't available to you anymore. You have to be more nimble, you have to move quicker, or vice versa. You can't just move. You need to think things through now. You need to slow things down. And this is the number one job you have. Like, number one, deciding what it is you want more than what you're currently doing. So we can actually teach ourselves to want things. We can train our minds to actually prepare for the pitfalls that come when we actually try something new. And when we get feedback, it's not so great. Like someone saying something or questioning you, and suddenly you're like, I'm not so steady in what I'm thinking. And as soon as you say, but really, do you really think you're going to do that? You really think this is important? You're going to say right away, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't know. Let's not. So this is like the strength and the mind training and the mental gym that I work on my clients with, which is this level of toughness that keeps you able to observe, stay neutral, handle things, decide what's best, and just do those things. It's not as much about like, but I really love this, or I really like eating this way, or I really love my time when I have X, Y, and Z. But if you're bringing it up as like, this doesn't work, you could love it, but you may not love what you have. So then something needs to change. So this is kind of like the tough love, guys, that you know you want and you know you need. And sometimes people are scared to give you. So you can train your mind to think about how to change your current situation that feels impossible, and actually train your mind to think of it as completely solvable. All of these things and all these ways of thinking are necessary before you do anything. So, for example, you want to lose weight, break the desire for indulgent food as a fix, right, for your life, for supplementing things, for getting you excited. Want to work with someone that's really difficult? Well, you have to break the desire to be right versus I want to be able to work with people and not feel like it's taking over my life because I think about how that interaction went. That is the desire to want to be right, the desire to want something more than having a relationship that doesn't feel as strained. You want to change roles. Like you actually want to. You have to break the desire for wanting to do the comfortable thing you've always done. So you can want new things. You can break the desire and build new ones. You can train your mind for what's next over and over and over again. This is how you become the person that just loves the healthy things or has good relationships, even with hard to work with people who seem to find new roles that are just that right combination of pay, impact, and lifestyle. And they just seem so lucky. And this is what makes it actually sustainable, not doing a whole bunch of things at once, but getting your mind right first, because who you are and how you think will always override what it is that you do. Think about it. Life, situations, and people always know when you're the real thing. They sniff it out. They sniff out when you don't like them and you're just trying to be nice to them. They sniff out you really don't care and you really don't believe in it and you're like pretending to do it. Like all of it shows up somewhere. So if you're not training your mind, it's not a bad thing. It's choice. but it may be one stone that you've left unturned as you're looking to make changes in your life. And you can do this every single day with every single situation. Imagine how mentally strong you end up becoming and how easy it is for you to have what you want, to want what you have when you're constantly able to train your mind like this. You're finding new opportunities easily. You're becoming that person that actually feels more positive, feels more hopeful, thinks about how you can solve things. And imagine who that benefits. It benefits you. So this is what I work on with my clients in addition to the strategy, in addition to the plan. And it's usually the number one thing that people want to skip over. Do not skip this. You're not alone if you want to skip this. And this is something that most people struggle with. So don't feel like, is it just me? No, it's not just you. There are a lot of people who have a lot going on in the day to day. And because of that, this is the one thing that makes your day feel easier. Training your mind is like getting the knife hot before you move through the butter. That is your day, through all the to-dos. It cuts through everything and it makes life feel so much easier. This is how important it will be for you. I cannot emphasize this enough. And if you want to learn how to do this, if you want to actually work on the things that you want and go through the training that will help you start to master some of the things that felt like you've always struggled with, this is that blend of practicality and mindset that you will find in coaching. You can schedule a consultation at www.mayempson.com/contact. You want to learn more about working together, where we will apply a holistic way of looking at your life, looking at what you want, your lifestyle, and all the different choices that you want to be making differently. This is the blend of private and group coaching that is powerfully going to help you elevate, structure your approach to the thing that you're trying to do next. And with community, with individualized guidance, with retreats, and more. So you will build the confidence to execute, to actually make moves in the direction that you want and see the progress so that you can start to make more and more of these kind of decisions every single day. So that, my friend, is what is available to you. And just go to mayempson.com/contact to sign up for a consultation. And I've also created a free masterclass. If you haven't checked it out, you can access it at the show notes link and you can download it. It is figuring out what is next and how to figure out what you need to be working on depending on where you are right now. All right, my friends, that is it for this week. I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmpson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayempson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.